Welcome everyone to the part 2 video of advising for this semester, where we're doing the online advising. This video will cover the advising process itself as well as a little bit of the registration mechanics. So let's dive right in. In terms of advising, the place that you want to start is your degree audit, which can be found on My Westfield. Your degree audit is going to be a great place to start because it covers the courses you've already taken, the ones that you have in progress, and the ones that you still need to take. Your degree audit is your roadmap to success. It's the things that you have to complete in order to graduate, although there is one little piece that I wish they did a little differently, and that's that there is no spot for general electives. And that's because there's not a set number of general electives you need. You need general electives to make sure that your credit hours total is over 120. Okay, the university requires 120 hours of credit hours in order to graduate, and so you have to meet that total. And it's possible to complete everything in your degree audit. I'll show you what that means in just a second. It's possible to complete all of those and still not have the requisite number of credit hours, primarily because of double counted courses. Okay, so let's take a look at the degree audit, and then I can talk to you about double counted courses. Right, so when you look at your degree audit, you sign in, this is what you should see at the top. This is the student view. It's got a list of your name, your ID number, who's your advisor, if you have more than one, which typically only happens if you have more than one major, right? And the student happened to have a criminal justice major and a business management major. It tells you what class you're in. So this was a sophomore, what degree you're getting, what concentration you have if you're a business management student, etc., etc. Okay. It also lists if you have any minors. It gives you your Westfield GPA. It gives you the hours you've earned at Westfield. These are the credit hours, any transfer hours you have, and then the total. Okay, the total needs to be 120 hours in order for you to graduate, and you have to be in academic good standing. Okay, so this is what you'll see at the top. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a section called Common Core, and it'll look something like this, at least in a certain part of it will. You'll have some courses that you may have already taken, and you'll have green checkboxes next to those to signify that you have met this requirement. You'll have some blue squiggly lines in various places, and the blue squiggles indicate that you are currently in progress of meeting this particular requirement. And then you'll have some red boxes that say, hey, you've still got something here that you need to work on. Okay, so in this student's case, they had completed English Comp 1 and 2 by taking English 101 and English 102. There's a section here that displays your grades. I have just filtered A grade in to show you that this is where you look for it. And then the number of credit hours earned for these courses. Now, in this student's case, this red box here means that they have not met their literary and philosophical analysis requirement to graduate. So I go over here to see where it says still needed, and there's one class in this segment still needed, and then these classes here in this box are the ones that will help me meet this requirement. Now, I don't have the course offering booklet memorized, so I don't know what all these things mean, but if I'm in my degree audit, I can leave my mouse hovering over one of these things, and a little pop-up box will pop up to say, this course is titled blank, and then you know the name of the course, so you can go look a little bit more about what it's about. Okay? So, here we have the beginnings of our degree audit and the essentials. Right. If you continue to scroll down, if you have selected a concentration, this is what you should see. Now, you may not have picked a concentration yet, but if you are a business management student, you will need one. The economic students have something a little bit different. But for the business management students, you'll need a concentration. This is 6 courses in one of the areas of accounting, finance, marketing, or management. The different concentrations have different required classes. This one is the finance concentration, where we have the 6 things required in finance, which is econometrics, investments, security analysis, advanced managerial finance, or advanced financial management, as I believe we've renamed it, investments in terms of portfolio management. We have a class in money and banking. And then this last piece here is a 300 level finance elective, where you can take any of the classes listed here in order to meet this requirement. Okay. Now, the other thing that goes with this last one, this 300 level elective, is that internship hours can count for this. So if you get at least 3 hours of internship, this counts, right? So that's one of the reasons internships are great. But the other thing that qualifies for this are going to be the special topics classes. Those are listed as special topics 350. It's a 300 level course. My understanding is that these courses will count as the elective, certainly for the concentration that they're listed in, but also that we can get a course substitution form from the department chair to make that happen. So if you take one in finance and you're a management concentration, that we can have that substituted in. It's just a simple form with a simple signature, and we're all set. Okay, so either of internships or special topics classes will help meet this requirement, which is why they are great for a second reason. Okay, so we learned about those in the part 1 video. If you haven't watched that, please go back and check it out. There's some really cool stuff in there. Okay, but moving on, right? So after we've looked at our degree on it, we can see what we have and we haven't taken. The next stop that we want to look at is the concentration grid. Okay, so this is something that the department has put together to say, we think you should take these courses in this order depending on your concentration, and that will help you graduate on time. Okay, so you can go to this www.bus.westfield.ma.edu and you can find it there. So let me click into it real quick. We swap over to, right, we've got bus.westfield.ma.edu. This is the economics and management homepage. We want to come down here to this brown box where it says advising list and click on that. Right. The advising list gives these. Right. I think there might be one that says concentrations as well. That works. Yeah. So you can go to concentrations if you just want to see one or the other as well. They're either listed all of them at once or one at a time, depending on your choices. So, and a concentration grid will look like this. It lists the courses you should take in a specific semester in order to graduate on time. You'll see that it goes all the way down into the senior year. There's more courses here that you can't see. I guess I could. There's more courses there. So it sketches it out. It's highly unlikely that you will follow this exactly because different schedules or different students require different schedules. It's a little bit flexible. There's some stuff you can move around. But the general pattern is here in terms of what you should take before what else, because the one nice thing about the concentration grid is it lets you see all in one place the classes that you need as well as the prerequisites. Okay, anything listed in gray is a prereq for another class. So Accounting 104, Accounting 1 has Management 107 as its prerequisite. If we go up to Management 107, we see that Software Apps is required to be completed first before we go to Accounting 1, etc., etc. Okay? So we can trace the prerequisite chains out to see, what do we need to watch out for, as well as looking at things in green that are fall-only classes generally, and things in orange that are spring-only classes. Now I know the department has made an effort recently to try and abolish fall-only and spring-only courses, but they do still pop up occasionally, so you definitely want to pay attention in case these things are there, because you don't want to find yourself in the spring of your senior year needing a fall-only course that's not being taught, because that would mean you'd have to come back for another semester, right? Which would be highly unfortunate. So watch out for those things. Okay. When you look at the concentration grid, one thing that you want to watch out for that I said was the prerequisites, but you also want to watch out for the prerequisite sequences, right? So like in accounting, you have to take Software Apps to take Accounting 1, which is required for Accounting 2, which is required to be complete for all the upper level accounting courses, including Financial Reporting 1, 2, and 3, which are also sequential. So accounting has a 6-semester long sequence, which means if you don't have Software Apps completed by the end of your first semester of sophomore year, you're going to have more semesters needed to graduate than you have remaining in your standard 4 years. Okay, which means you probably need some summer classes or some winter classes, or you need to take things concurrently, which requires extra forms, etc., right? If you think about this and plan this in advance well, you can avoid all those things, and it's much easier. Okay, it's not impossible, but it's much easier if you can avoid that. So accounting has a long sequence. Finance has one through the accounting classes into financial management and then the upper level finance courses. And management has one as well. Okay, so watch out for those. If you have questions, talk to your faculty advisor. They'll be happy to help you navigate those. We already saw this a little bit on the website itself, so I'm going to skip through to the third piece, right? Check the registrar's page. The registrar's page has information about the how-to of actually going through the mechanics of registering for courses. It talks about the when advising is and when you're eligible to register for courses based on the credit totals you have, or whether you are an honor student, Banako student, athlete, etc., any of the other things that have a special registration time. So you can see all that information on the registrar's page. The registrar also has a course offerings booklet, so if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a thing that says Fall 2020 Course Offering Booklet. And if you click over into that, you'll see something that looks like this. So I can scroll up to the top This is the search thing. If you hit Control F on a PC, it pops up, and if you click an ST colon, you'll be able to search through that. So I'll show you that in a minute. But we've got the fall 2020 course offerings. It's got the full list for art, etc., etc. So let's see what special topics classes there are. The first one, there's AIDS to Zika in biology. There's one about econ of film literature. And then, of course, we have my class, the finance and economics of politics, right? So there's 36 special topics courses offered by the whole university right now. If you Control F, you can search through them like that. But other than the special topics class, you'll see that this contains the complete listing of all the sections of all the classes that are being offered through the day division of the university. So this doesn't include CGCE sections, I don't believe. They have their own webpage for that you can Google. But we have the different sections of the different classes that we're offering, right? So you can go through and you can find out what you think is the appropriate thing. You want to pay attention to the CRN number because this is what you need to actually register. Wow, that scrolled right away from me on that communication. Back to this real quick. Whew, there we go. Yeah, so this is the course offering booklet that has all the different sections that you can plan out what you want to take at what time. Okay, so check that out. One of the things to pay attention to is the prerequisites. You can see these here as well. So if there's a prerequisite for a course, you can mouse over this and it will tell you what the prereqs are. If a class counts for a Common Core requirement, it'll be listed over here. You have the room that's going to be in, the time, and the instructor. Those are the relevant things, I think. And so the registrar's page has those things. Okay. And so here's an example too, right? CRN, mouse over for prerequisites, etc., etc. We have an advising forum that's available in the department to help you plan things out. If you want one of these, you can ask and we can distribute one to you electronically. But we have some basic recommendations of things you can do to help make this process a little bit smoother. Right, so when you're going through, make sure you have the CRNs for the sections you want, but also write down some CRNs for alternate sections in case the ones you want are full. Before you go into registration on the day of, you can check the seat numbers so you can figure out what sections still have a lot of seats, because then when you go to actually register, the recommendation we make is that you register for classes with only one section open first. Right? If there's a class you definitely need to graduate and it has to be taken this semester and there's only one section of it, that should be what you sign up for first so that it doesn't fill, and then you should move on to sections that you want that have the fewest seats available. Okay? So you'll go through the whole process. In terms of advising, we have faculty advisors that will answer your questions. Please ask anything that's related to course selection before you fill out the registration form. So there's a Google form we're going to have you fill out. And you should also form a list of classes you plan to take next semester before you fill out this Google form. Okay. When you go to do this, here's a final checklist of things you should ask yourself. Have you watched the advising videos? Right. This is the end of the second part of the video, so yes. Move on. Do we have a list of courses that I need to take next semester? And have I checked that these sections have seats and that I have met all the prerequisites for these classes? Right. Then I want to make sure I've cleared all the holds on my account. I want to make sure I have all my questions addressed with my faculty advisor, or if I need to talk to the department chair about something in terms of needed forms signed, etc., etc. I have all those things done. When that is done, right, please proceed to the Google form and fill it out, so that you can list your name and email and all that stuff and give us a list of the classes you plan to take. We're going to make use of that Google form, the output from that, to send out PIN numbers prior to the dates of your actual online registration. Okay, so if you have questions, please contact your faculty advisor. If you saw a link or an email address or something in the video, please check out the description. These things will be below. Otherwise, that's all I've got for you. Thanks for watching, and appreciate your time. See everybody next semester, I hope.